What's going on, YouTube? We're here for our Thursday night football preview between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers going into Lambeau Field. We're set to kick off week 4 with the good old NFC North rivalry matchup, and two teams that are in I think pretty different places in terms of their franchise. You have, or rebuilding, I guess. Well, neither of them are rebuilding. You'd say that both of them have very good football teams. Packers have a really good defense, get a lot of pressure, and they have a good secondary, have decent linebackers. Quay Walker is a big time playmaker. Darnell Savage has been pretty good so far this year. He isn't consistent, but so far he's been pretty good. Then on the Lions side of things. They're kind of like on the other side of the spectrum in terms of hype. The Packers are usually that team in the North that everyone's looking towards, and everyone, it's their division to lose. Now it kind of feels like it's the Lions' division to lose because Jordan Love hasn't been I think he's been inconsistent. He's shown flashes, but I think he's struggled and been a bit inconsistent at times. But the Packers defense has been very good. Then you have the Detroit Lions. You have so much hype on there. Jared Goff has played like one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. He's been phenomenal. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds. You have all these weapons, and it's been impressive. I'm really happy to see this Lions team doing something. This is one of those teams that this is one of those franchises that has always been like, nah, they're crappy. They're poverty. They're not really that team, and will they ever be that team? So it's really nice to see the Lions, coming out of the darkness, coming out of the weeds, and kind of proving to us that they can be that football team. Now the defense still a bit inconsistent. I think it's matchup based, but they played really well against the Falcons last week. They do have some weapons. They were pretty good against the run. Honestly, they did good against Bijan. They did lose James Houston. That's a big loss. James Houston is a very explosive edge rusher. But yeah, two franchises really just in different spots in terms of how the media looks at them. And, sometimes the media doesn't matter, but, it's nice as a fan when the media is on your side, but it doesn't always, translate to success. So for the Packers, first let's go through the injuries. For the Packers, the home team, Christian Watson and Jair Alexander and Aaron Jones are all questionable. 2 out of 3 of those players are phenomenal players. I mean, Christian Watson, he brings an element to the offense in which, other teams really have to respect his speed, his playmaking ability. So if he's out, it stinks, but Romeo Dubes has been really good. Jaden Reed has stepped up a couple of times, although I will say Jaden Reed's hands are a bit inconsistent currently, dropping a few, catching a few really nice passes. I'd like to see him be more consistent with that. Romeo Dubes, he's been phenomenal. I really liked what we've seen from him. And, of course, if you have Aaron Jones out, it's going to hurt even more. But that Lions defense line and just the way they've been playing against the defense has been very impressive. Or, against the run game has been very impressive. They played Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier in the system that they play against Arthur Smith. That's, it's, really hurts to have, if Aaron Jones will be out, but he still may not be 100%, and you might have to throw the ball to win this football game because there's a lot, like I've just talked about, that Lions defensive line has been very, and the run defense in general has been very impressive. So, and that's like the first step to having a really good defense. So, who's out? You have linebacker Devondre Campbell, left tackle David Bakhtiari, left guard Elton Jenkins. Those 3 players make major impacts when on the field. David Bakhtiari, one of the best left tackles in the league. Elton Jenkins has been a phenomenal left guard. And linebacker, kind of, an edge rusher, can drop back in coverage. They play in that scheme in Green Bay where some of the linebackers drop back, some of the edge rushers kind of drop back some once in a while. Devondre Campbell's that guy. He has provided lots of playmaking ability on that edge. And dropping out a little bit, get you lots of tackles, you get you some pressure on the quarterback. So those 3 players that they have out and 3 questionable, those injuries are, may not, if they do have all 6 of these players out, well, obviously it's 3 out of the 6, but if you have the other 3, if all 3 of them are out on the questionable side, it could be a long night. It may already be a long night for this offensive line, although, outside of Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions are still kind of looking for that guy to step up and be consistent. Lions, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players questionable, and 2 out of the 5 are cornerbacks in their secondary. So first off, let's start with the left tackle, Taylor Decker. He is expected to play tonight, so that's good. Left guard, Jonah Jackson. Whatever. Running back, David Montgomery. He's expected to be back tonight. Emmanuel Mosley, I believe, was kind of ruled out this morning. I think I saw something like that, but I still looked at the reports and put them on questionable. But I believe Emmanuel Mosley is out, so you're still going to have Cam Sutton and No, as you see, he's questionable. So why am I saying he's out? But I think he was listed as out this morning. But I just put him at questionable because I'm not 100% sure. But don't expect him to play. Cornerback Kirby Joseph, he's not expected to play. I don't think he's been very good anyways. He has made a few nice plays. I believe he got an interception a couple of weeks ago, but he's not really impressed me. But you do have Cam Sutton on one side. You have to find someone on the other side. Cam Sutton has had a few PIs called against him this season. Some of them are questionable. Whatever is what it is. And out, they have right guard Hala Polivati. I can't say that name, but right guard. So those are the injuries for both sides of for the both teams there. Wow, I really screwed up this graphic. I did not fix that on the Lions side. That's bothering me. All right, so the storylines we have for this game, with the storylines, I like to go with the, storylines. They're basically the keys of the game. So the Packers have lots of injuries, and like I've mentioned, if Jair Franklin, Devondre Campbell, and Aaron Jones are out, that's already rough. We already know that David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, and Devondre Campbell are out. But you might have Aaron Jones, Jair, and Christian Watson. If all three of those guys are out, it could be a long night. But it depends on how Jordan Love plays. If they can get that run game going, it depends on how that Detroit Lions defense wants to. If they want to show up or not. All right, so the Packers. The second storyline is they're going to have to get that run game going. I know it's not going to be easy, but you're going to have to try to because you have to try to make it a little easier on Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love has been inconsistent. He's had some really nice plays. I don't think his accuracy and ball placement is great. I'm noticing when I'm rewatching these games, Jordan Love is really not putting the ball in front of the receiver. He's not allowing his receiver to just make the simple catch. Now, no catch is easy if you want to say that. But, he's not giving these guys a chance to catch it in stride. He's placing it behind them, maybe a little too high, maybe a little too low behind them. He's making it very difficult for the receivers to make the catch. And on top of that, they can't get any run after the catch. So I think Jordan Love really has to work on his ball placement. And accuracy, but if the Packers could get the run game going, I think they could have a really good night passing the football, and just having a good night in general. The thing is, I don't think they're going to be able to get that run game going. That Lions run defense has been very impressive. They've been very good against the run, so we'll see. But if they can get that run game going, they gotta help Jordan Love, especially if you don't have. Christian Watson, someone to spread the ball downfield. I don't really think the Packers have been that aggressive. I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive. And that allows defenses to really clog the box a little bit more and I'm trying to come up with the word for it, and load the box a little bit more and have a heavy box. It makes it much more difficult to run, when you only have 5 offensive linemen, maybe a tight end or two, having 4 guys on the line, then ready 3 linebackers, 8 guys outweigh 5 by a mile or 6, and you're going to have a hard time blocking them and get the run game going. So you really don't want to, just not be able to run the ball. And then when you do try, maybe a short yard situation, you just can't. But that's where the Packers kind of need to get aggressive on offense and kind of stretch this defense out a little bit. And if Christian Watson's in there, Christian Watson will help with that. But hopefully they can get the run game going. So last week in that comeback, Jordan Love impressed me down the stretch of the game. But I will say, they can't rely on those penalties and big moments to win them this game like last week. The Lions have a good offense. They have a much better offense than the Saints. They will move the ball. They will continue to score points. They're not just going to stop scoring points because they can't. They're going to keep on scoring points because they can. So last week, towards the end of the game, they did throw the ball deep a couple of times, and it is a way to move the ball down the field, especially when you're trying to make a comeback, try and get a couple of penalties out of the defense, like a PI, and really travel the field like that. But you can't rely on those penalties in big moments, and you can't rely on those penalties that help you win the game every week. It's just not it just won't happen. It's not realistic. But the Packers can just, kind of get them, just kind of get it going, have a good day in offense, no turnovers. If you turn the ball over, especially when you have a few guys questionable on offense or on defense, you already know Devondre Campbell's out, like I mentioned earlier, it might be difficult to run the ball, especially with Bakhtiari and Jenkins out, but, you're not going to be able to count on these penalties in late game. You can't. You have to make those big plays on your own. It's not sustainable to win games relying on those big penalties and big moments. So those are some keys and things to look out for with the Packers and the Lions. So can the defense keep the momentum going? They did really well last week versus Bijan Robinson, versus the Falcons, who have a lot of really nice weapons. Now, is Desmond Ridder really the answer? So far, it doesn't look like it, but he's still young. He's still got time to learn and get something going. He's athletic, so that buys him time as well. I don't think Desmond Ridder is the answer currently, but they did a phenomenal job stopping the run, which a couple weeks prior teams weren't stopping the run against the Falcons as well. But now they're starting to realize maybe some of that tape is out. Maybe they don't need to be too worried about Desmond Ridder. Maybe the Falcons don't want to throw the ball deep a lot, and I want to see them do it more. But they want to run the football. They want to dink and dunk. They want to grind out these drives, but that's not really the way to win some football games. And, as you see, you're going to have games like that where you only put up 3 points. And, credit to the Detroit Lions defense. They had a very good outing. They only allowed 3 points to Bijan. They have some nice weapons. They have a really good offensive mind in the way he does like to do things. But can the defense keep the momentum going? You're playing another quarterback who's still trying to get it figured out, who's been inconsistent. He's been much better than Desmond Ridder, I'll say that. He's been better, but he's still got a lot to learn. He's still got to get the accuracy issues and ball placement. And, I'll even say some of his decision-making has been a little questionable. He does just overthrow some guys sometimes. So you're not really playing a top quarterback, but the matchup is more difficult than it was last week. And then you have, another very good offensive mind in Matt LaFleur. You have a very good, you have a lot of weapons to go up against. You have not Luke Musgrave. Is it Shoemaker or Musgrave? I always get the guy on the, I think it's Musgrave on the Packers and it's Shoemaker on the Cowboys. I always get those two guys confused. But, they have some good tight ends. I believe they have Tucker Kraft as well, I believe they have Tucker Kraft. Nice little speedy, nice playmaker tight end in the passing game. Considering they do have left tackle and left guard, most likely are, they are out. That's a big loss. So maybe you want to line up Aiden Hutchinson on that side of the line and really have a day over there. You're going to have, the Packers are going to have their tight ends. They're going to have to help them block, some chips and stuff. But if this Lions defense can keep the momentum going, yeah, Emmanuel Mosley is still out, but I believe I don't think he played one game yet. The defensive line has been getting pressure. Now James Houston goes out. That's a big loss. You still have Jack Campbell, who I think they were, they were rushing with Jack Campbell a little bit. You could throw some blitzes in there, which I've noticed the Lions have been blitzing a bit. And, can the defense keep the momentum going? If they could do that, and, that starts with the run defense. If they could stop the run and force Jordan Love to beat them through the air with Romeo Dubes, with Jaden Reed, which, they've been impressive. They've had some nice flashes. I'll say Romeo Dubes has been very good. Jaden Reed has been decent. But if they could stop that run, force Jordan Love to beat you, and especially with, Alton Jenkins and Dave Bakhtiari out on the left side, that will help your defense line just be able to pass rush, just be able to tee off on Jordan Love. When you know it's a passing down, these pass rushers can get very aggressive, which can really amp that pass rush up. And we'll see how Jordan Love does under pressure. So next, you're getting key players back. Taylor Decker, left tackle, David Montgomery. I'm pretty sure they're likely to play tonight. Getting those guys back is important. You've struggled. I mean, you've gotten the running game going a little bit. You've had some tough matchups, sure. The Falcons have a very good defensive line. The Chiefs' defense has proven to be very good, and they did it without Chris Jones in Week 1. I don't remember who else they played, but I know they struggled a little bit in that game. But with David Montgomery, it's nice to get him back. You just want him to run up the middle. You just want him to get you a couple yards. He will. Jahmyr Gibbs, I feel like they should continue to play, Jahmyr Gibbs at a high level, with more volume. You drafted him so high in the draft. Why not? I feel like you need to, especially when you're drafting a running back that high. But it is what it is. But Taylor Decker coming back, that's big time, because that offensive line has been a little, has not been great without him. He's a very good left tackle. You had is that Rashawn Slater on their team, or is that Penny Sewell? No, they have Penny Sewell. I believe they moved him to the left side to try and cover up that left tackle spot for a little bit. But having Taylor Decker back. Taylor Decker, I'm confused. I feel like Taylor Decker has played right. Either way, having both of your starting tackles back is big time. Very good to see both of them back. And that offense has been very good. And if you could protect Jared Goff, allow him to throw that football, allow him to throw that ball, and sling it like he has been, I don't see any reason why the Detroit Lions cannot win this game. Their defense has been better. It's gotten better every single week. And here's my score prediction. I have my final prediction. I have the Detroit Lions coming out of this NFC North rivalry matchup with the win, beating the Packers 24-20. Now, I'm not sure if the Packers could win this one, especially considering the injuries that they have. They already have David Bakhtiari. I sound like a broken record, but they have those 3 stars out: Bakhtiari, Jenkins, and Devondre Campbell. Questionable is Jair Alexander, Christian Watson, and Aaron Jones. If all of those guys, if 2 out of 3 of those guys are out, it still could be a long night for the Packers. I think this Lions offense is still going to be a little much for this Packers defense. The Packers defense is very good. They will get some pass rush on you. They will attack your quarterback, but the Lions have a very good defensive line. And, other than Jair Alexander, especially if he doesn't play, I'll say the Packers have a deep quarterback group. They have some good corners, but I think I don't know if it's going to be enough versus the Lions and how well Jared Goff has played. Jared Goff has been incredible. Sam LaPorta has been awesome. Run blocking, catching the football. Both of them have been great, but we will see. So I'm taking the Detroit Lions in this Thursday night football matchup, and you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. And this is the JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.